For 25 years, the town feared the man in the mansion. They called Elijah Mensa cursed. People claimed strange cries echoed through his halls at night. Every servant who entered eventually ran away.
He looks so sad
And behind one locked door, many believed he was hiding something evil.
this on himself.
But Elijah never defended
I will
himself.
accept the job.
He simply
Amara,
lived alone,
no,
while the
it's too
town judged
dangerous.
him from a distance.
I have no choice. I
Then a
must.
desperate maid
Elijah's
named
ways
Amara
are not
accepted a
ours.
job nobody else wanted.
The forbidden
And one
door
stormy
calls to
night,
me.
a power outage opened a forbidden door.
What secrets lie within?
What she discovered wasn't a curse. It wasn't a ghost. It was a
Amara, the
secret so
secret I hid to
heartbreaking
protect you.
that it would
A
leave an
secret? What
entire
secret?
town
Amara, you are
ashamed
not
of the
who you
man they
think.
had spent 25 years
It can't
fearing.
be true. It is my child. Hello, welcome. For more amazing stories, please like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Your support means the world. Thank you for joining me.
The mansion stood at the edge of the town like a giant secret. Its tall stone walls stretched toward the sky. Its iron gates remained closed. And after sunset, nobody dared walk near it. Children crossed the road when passing. Market women lowered their voices. Even grown men avoided looking directly at its windows. Because everyone believed the man living inside was cursed. For 25 years, the rumors had never stopped. Some said every woman who entered the mansion ran away screaming. Others claimed strange cries echoed through the halls every night. A few insisted they had seen shadows moving behind the windows. But one thing everyone agreed on was this. Something was terribly wrong inside Elijah Mensa's mansion. And Elijah himself never denied it. He never defended himself. Never explained. Never corrected the stories. He simply lived alone. Year after year. Growing older. Growing quieter. Watching the town fear him. Eventually people stopped trying to understand him. Fear was easier than truth. And that fear became legend. Then one day, a woman arrived who wasn't afraid of legends. Her name was Amara. 34 years old. Recently widowed. With a 6-year-old daughter named Zuri. Life had not been kind to her. 2 years earlier, her husband died while working on a construction site. The accident left her with debts she couldn't pay. The landlord wanted rent. The school wanted fees. The grocery store wanted payment. Everywhere she turned, someone wanted money she didn't have. For months she survived by taking small jobs. Cleaning houses. Washing clothes. Cooking for families. But work was becoming scarce. One afternoon, while sitting outside a roadside cafe, she overheard 2 women talking. They need another maid at Elijah's mansion. The second woman laughed. Another one, how long did the last one last? 3 days. The women shook their heads. Nobody stays there. Amara listened carefully. That evening she asked around town. The stories became stranger with every person she spoke to. Some claimed the mansion was haunted. Others said Elijah kept ghosts in the basement. One old man swore he heard a woman screaming from inside the walls. Another insisted Elijah practiced dark rituals. The stories sounded ridiculous. Yet everyone believed them. And everyone was terrified. Which meant nobody wanted the job. The next morning, Amara walked straight to the mansion. The gates opened slowly. The grounds were breathtaking. Perfect gardens. Marble fountains. Beautiful trees. The place looked less like a cursed mansion and more like a palace. An elderly butler greeted her. "You came for the position." "Yes." The man stared. Almost confused. "You know where you are." Amara smiled. "I need work." 30 minutes later, she sat across from Elijah Mensa. The man everyone feared. He was 62. Tall. Broad-shouldered. Silver hair. Sharp eyes. But there was something else. Something nobody mentioned. Sadness. The kind of sadness that lives in someone for many years. The kind that becomes part of their face. Elijah studied her quietly. You've heard the rumors. Yes. And you're still here. Rumors won't feed my daughter. For the first time, a small smile appeared. She was hired immediately. The first week passed peacefully. Amara cleaned, cooked, organized storage rooms, polished furniture. Nothing strange happened. No ghosts. No screams. No curses. In fact, the mansion felt unusually quiet, almost lonely. But she noticed something strange. Every night at exactly 8:00 p.m. Elijah disappeared. Without fail. Dinner could be unfinished. Guests could be visiting. Business meetings could still be happening. None of it mattered. At exactly 8:00 p.m. Elijah left. Then returned around sunrise. Nobody questioned it. The staff acted as if it were normal, which made Amara even more curious. She also noticed another mystery. The East Wing. A massive section of the mansion remained locked. Nobody entered. Nobody cleaned it. Nobody discussed it. Whenever she asked questions, people became uncomfortable. Just stay away from there. Why? It's not our business. What's inside? No one answered. Weeks passed. Then months. Amara became the longest-serving maid the mansion had seen in years. The town couldn't believe it. People started whispering about her. Some said she must be protected by spirits. Others believed she had made a deal with Elijah. The rumors only grew stronger. Then came the storm. A violent storm unlike any the town had seen in years. Thunder shook the mansion. Rain pounded the roofs. Lightning lit the sky. Just after midnight the power failed. The entire mansion plunged into darkness. Amara grabbed a lantern. As she moved through the hallways checking candles, she heard something. A sound. Soft. Weak. Almost like crying. She froze. Listened. The sound came again. A woman's voice. Somewhere far away. Her heart pounded. Slowly she followed it. The sound led directly toward the East Wing. Lightning flashed. For a brief second she noticed something unusual. The East Wing door stood open. The electronic lock had failed during the outage. The forbidden section of the mansion was accessible for the first time. Amara hesitated, then stepped forward. The hallway beyond was covered with framed photographs. Dozens of them. A young woman laughing. A young Elijah smiling. Wedding pictures. Family vacations. Birthday celebrations. Love captured in frozen moments. The crying continued. Amara followed it. Room after room. Hallway after hallway. Until she reached the final door. The voice came from inside. Her hands trembled. Slowly she pushed it open. And everything changed. The room looked like a private hospital. Medical equipment lined the walls. Monitors blinked softly. Machines hummed. And in the center of the room sat a woman. Thin. Fragile. Wrapped in blankets. Her dark hair streaked with grey. Her eyes staring toward the window. She looked alive. But barely. The woman slowly turned her head. Their eyes met. Whose are you? Amara couldn't breathe. For 25 years everyone believed Elijah lived alone. For 25 years people thought he had no family. Yet here sat a woman. A woman clearly hidden from the world. Footsteps echoed behind her. Amara turned. Elijah stood in the doorway. His face pale. His eyes filled with fear. Not anger. Fear. The fear of someone whose deepest secret has been discovered. For several seconds nobody spoke. Finally Elijah entered. He sat beside the woman, gently adjusted her blanket, then looked at Amara. "You weren't supposed to see this." His voice broke, and for the first time in decades, he told someone the truth. 30 years earlier Elijah married the love of his life. Her name was Naomi. They met at university, fell in love instantly, built a life together. They had dreams, plans, children, a future. Then everything changed. One rainy evening, a drunk driver crashed into their car. Elijah survived. Naomi didn't. At least not completely. Severe brain trauma left her trapped between worlds. Aware sometimes, gone at others. Doctors recommended long-term care facilities, special institutions, professional centers. Everyone said the same thing. Move on. Start over. Find another wife. You deserve happiness. Elijah refused. Instead, he built the East Wing, turned it into a private medical center, hired nurses, installed equipment, learned medical procedures himself, and every night at 00 p.m. For 25 years, he sat beside Naomi, reading books, playing her favkrata songs, telling her about the world outside, holding her hand, keeping his promise. In sickness and in health, the words hit Amara like a wave. The town called him cursed. The town called him haunted. The town called him evil. Meanwhile, he had spent 25 years loving a woman who couldn't love him back. Tears filled her eyes. Why hide her? Elijah stared at the floor. Because people are cruel. His voice cracked. They don't understand devotion anymore. He looked toward Naomi. Dove called her a burden. Silence filled the room. At that moment, Amara realized something. The mansion wasn't hiding darkness. It was hiding love. Months passed. Amara never shared the secret. But life has a way of revealing truth. One afternoon, a visiting specialist recognized Naomi. Questions followed. Answers emerged. Eventually, the town learned everything. The reaction was immediate. Shock, disbelief, shame. People who had spent decades spreading rumors suddenly realized how wrong they had been. The cursed man had actually become something rare. A husband who never abandoned his wife. Flowers began appearing at the gates. Letters arrived. People apologized. The fear disappeared. For the first time in decades, the mansion felt alive. Then came the miracle. A miracle nobody expected. One spring morning, Elijah sat beside Naomi as usual, reading from her favkrata novel. The room was quiet, peaceful. Then suddenly, a voice interrupted him. Soft, weak, but unmistakable. Elijah. The book slipped from his hands. His entire body froze. For 25 years, he had waited. For 25 years, he had hoped. And now, she had spoken his name. Tears streamed down his face. Doctors called it impossible. Specialists couldn't explain it. But Naomi continued improving. Slowly, day by day, months by month. And as she recovered, the town learned its greatest lesson. The curse had never been inside the mansion. The curse was judgment. The curse was gossip. The curse was assuming you know someone's story when you've never bothered to ask. Years later, people still told the story, but differently, no longer as a tale of a cursed millionaire. Instead, as the story of a man who kept his promise long after everyone else would have walked away. And whenever someone asked why the mansion lights stayed on every night until dawn, the answer was simple: because love was still living there, and it always had been.